coursework, I've used the opportunity to learn and experience new ways of presenting and utilising the technologies that I have, or technologies that I can find out about. To begin with, let's look at how I've used Final Cut Pro to construct my coursework together throughout on my blog. We use Final Cut Pro as our main source of editing software to place all the clips together. Within this program, I learned many different tools and features that it has. For example, the following: detaching the audio from clips, using the blend tool to create continuity between music or sound clips, Foley sounds and ambience, adding transition between clips in parts where we needed a smoother cut, using Final Cut Pro's library of sounds to construct on the timeline to produce an overall soundtrack. So, for example, we mixed together footsteps, sounds of wind, city ambience, and general chatter sounds. The materials I produced from using Final Cut Pro involve the following: our final film identity, as Final Cut is extremely suitable for precise editing and construction features. I also used it to put together other videos on my blog, such as the audience feedback sequence of clips, the animatic storyboard, font research, the analysis of brick, and screen recordings. Final Cut offered me many other tools too for creating the credits, speeding up the duration of the clip. So quite often we wanted to either speed it up or slow it down ever so slightly. So not too obvious that you could tell that it had been edited, but if we needed to speed it up because the clip just didn't look right because of the speed, then we could easily do that. We had to trim clips at the start and the end, or the middle parts, and take bits out and put them back together again. We experimented with colour filters but decided upon using black and white. We even looked at the exposure and the contrast and adjusted that to make a much starker contrast between the colours, so we get that conventional film noir high key low key contrast in the lighting. I also used Final Cut to import images and videos from other programs or file types, and then we could export the videos that we made to a HD quality ready to be viewed via my Vimeo or YouTube accounts, and then these could easily be shared at a high quality onto Facebook and other social networking sites to promote our film identity. Next, I'm going to talk about how I used iMovie, Premiere Pro and Animoto as other forms of creating videos aside from Final Cut. iMovie is a lot simpler than Final Cut, and so was good to create fast videos that I needed to upload on my blog to meet deadlines. I used this to construct creative titles, transitions and compilations of images or videos together. I used iMovie to create all of my evaluation videos, such as this one, and I also used it to put together the best shots of identity video. Premiere Pro is really quite confusing and a lot more complex, so we had to use a lot of online help and tutorials to be able to master this. We used Premiere Pro to make the titles of our film because Final Cut would not allow us to construct our own transition. So what I mean is, for example, you can see we wanted the word identity to split into two and wipe horizontally off the screen in sync, and Adobe Premiere Pro enabled us to do so. Lastly, Animoto is a very slick professional online video creator with preset templates ready to use, so all I had to do was adjust the sounds, images and texts on it to make various videos, such as the target audience video, and parts of my evaluation answers involve Animoto clips. I'm very familiar with Photoshop and enjoyed using it for my blog. I used it to create the poster where I had initially edited the photo we took of Poppy in the studio. So things like I removed the redness from her skin, removed some blemishes, increased the contrast of her eyes and lipstick to make it stronger and accentuate the femme fatale red lips. Other tools I used for this was layers, cropping, quick selection tool, vector masks, paintbrush presets, e.g. the watercolours, filters, text, transformation and perspective tools when making the pretend adverts, and many other in-app small features. I also used it to create the review, and also for the Allure Animations logo, in which I spent a very long time making each individual light bulb on the text. The majority of things I used I either already knew or sort of self-taught myself as I went along, and occasionally I used tutorials online to help me get the most out of this technology. Camera equipment was obviously vital in the construction of our film, and luckily I've got a Canon 60D that we could use to film all the shots, along with a sturdy tripod and a prime lens which we use for the close-up of Poppy's eye and then the close-up of the private investigator's lips in the studio. We used a school's photography studio which included a flash gun, a backdrop and soft boxes and barn lighting to film the investigator scenes and also to photograph Poppy when we did it for our ancillary task. The problem we had with this sort of technology involved accidentally getting raindrops on the lens, so it was visible in a couple of our shots, and then we didn't really have like a proper sound boom or a wind muff to create the best audio possible. Lastly, let's look at a few more smaller software technologies I used and how I use them to present work differently across my blog. Photor was used to create photo collages and 9-frame analysis templates. Prezi was used to easily show text and institution trailers together. SlideShare was used to put together PowerPoint, such as our pitch to the class, or to present documents like our script. Tuxedo is an online application to make a visually presentable word cloud of our subverted and conformed themes of our film. We importantly used a software program called Audacity to put together our own sounds. We wanted a hallucination sound effect which connoted the husband's state of mind. So to do this we imported audio from a video clip and added the echo and phaser effect on them. Voice memos and Foley sounds were collected using our mobile phones throughout the coursework production. We also used our mobile phones to film us filming, as seen here, and also for location shots.